So this story, it hits home. It hits home because I've seen this situation where people get involved later. And when they get involved later, they try to discredit and step on people who had started doing the helping. Why? Because they want to take the credit. Calm down before you ruin relationships. That third episode of the day, and on this particular one, we wanted to talk about the situation with Lusanda, the lady. She's a musician, very popular musician in South Africa. My mom absolutely loves Lusanda. Absolutely loves Lusanda, and there's a couple of the tapes back in the tape days. Okay, and so recently she made a request asking people to help her so that she can get music out. She's not been able to record, and as a result of this, she's been really on the negative. Okay, and so I didn't see the progress about the story, but you know YouTube. Hey, YouTube, yes, population. But I'm glad. I absolutely love the algorithm because it just brings. I just absolutely trust that the algorithm will get things to you. Pastor Anele Haley statement on Lusanda, and so basically it was posted like a few hours ago, and it reached my recommendation on thingy. And so it actually reminded me talking about it. And in this particular episode, I wanted to talk about help, the controversy of help, and the involvement of family, the involvement of thingy and whatnot. So when things become big, everybody knows you. When things are on the low, it is what it is. Yeah, everybody's silent. Nobody knows nothing. But when things become... But anyways, I wanted to talk about this because of the statement that he was making. So when he was talking, he was highlighting timestamps. So when a person starts highlighting timestamps, for me, it's if there is a problem. It's mostly if there is a problem. And so I was wondering, what exactly is the problem? Was there an issue? When the person says, oh yeah, this message was sent to me at this time, at 2 o'clock, the message was sent, like, it's maybe because that becomes important later on. So I'm guessing maybe there is a confusion, because I heard him talking about a statement that came out from the family, saying that the family didn't know about the struggles of Malusand, which is weird for me. And that's the thing that I really want to talk about here. To be honest with you, me, if I had issues, you're the first people that I'm talking to. Yeah, you're the first people that I'm going to talk to. There's no offense to my, to my family or anything. But it's because we are connected on a different level to family. You are more than blood. We are connected from a spiritual ground. If you remember the video that we were talking about on this recent Saturday, it was about that, the connection between our faith when it comes to our relationship. And so this story that's when I was hearing, he wasn't directly highlighting that, but that's where I was hearing that there might be issues from how the family took the matter to a point where Lusanda herself might have had to establish or clarify that she was the one who asked for the help from the pastor, because the pastor tried to set up getting the information out there that she needed help. And maybe the family didn't get that part. Not that they didn't know. I find it always weird when things like that happen, because sometimes they will see you struggle, but they just you'll get by. You'll get by. But then when the rest of the world sees it, when everybody else sees it, when the video hits 500,000 views online, and everybody is now reacting to thingy or now getting involved in the help, everybody now knows what to advise. Everybody now knows what to say. And in this point and thingy, because he even highlights how much had been sent to the accounts, which is where I'm like, okay, maybe there was a misunderstanding now that comes up and whatnot. So I'm just giving an example of the situation, not necessarily giving a breakdown. You'll have to go and confirm with this video. It's posted on MID space media. YouTube channel. That's where they posted the statement. I don't know if he, Sir, I think his name is Sir Anele Haley on Facebook. That's where you might get the full scale or the full story around this entire thing. The thing that I want to highlight here is this. It's very difficult helping someone. Yeah, it's very, very difficult, especially when it comes to finance. It's extremely difficult. It costs, because you might ask someone help and they have something. They have people who are family, direct family, who are asking help from them. And so they have someone who needs their help more urgently, who might not have another person to help them closer to them. You are a stranger, you come off as a stranger and so forth. But now, when a person is not involved in the trouble, like you who is going through the headache and the difficulty, you are more willing to just see who is willing to help. But when people who are not involved getting the story, that's where they can now bring in the division. They can bring in the division. And this is where you start hearing, hey, what if he takes advantage of you, and whatnot. And that also comes from the recent stories which you would have seen of how people just don't trust church people. Okay? Yeah, because of all these stories that you've seen over the years, and that can come from that. That's why the pastor had to make a statement about it to say he's handing off the account. Please close off this account. Go and send money to the family. Why? Because people who are not involved in the skakas, people who are not involved in the story, people who were not the ones who were needing financial help now get involved. And when these people now get involved, because they are not the ones who were in need of help, now they know how to advise. Why? Because before, they were pretty much chilled. And this is where sometimes a break-off, disagreements start, and people become less willing to help. So when people get involved outside, when you are getting involved from outside, when you're not the one who needs the help, be careful how you go in there to help. Because at the end of the day, should you get involved with hostility, suspicions, and all kinds of things, there is a chance of you ruining the state of that relationship, that person who was helping at first is no longer willing, doesn't want to help. Why? Because of how they got burnt before trying to help someone. I've seen that so much. I've seen that often, a lot, where a situation where someone is helping someone, genuinely helping the person, but because everybody else has come in with their ideas or with their thing, even in relationship per se, I've seen that type of stuff too often. Someone from outside, someone who's not involved, comes in and they come in with their ideas, their own thingy, and they influence thingy. Now, they might change the situation, able to get them help now that they have help. They might be able to do that, but they don't tread carefully enough to care about the people that were involved before they got there. Like I recently saw someone, I won't state, I saw this other person. They were now taking credit for things that other people had started helping. And that's why I'm saying, be careful not to tread on people's toes, because it breaks off relationships. Someone was taking credit for something they never did. And we know very well who was involved in that story in order for the story that we then later on saw. I won't state what I'm talking about, but it was just an example of people trading over people in the process of taking credit from others. It can be very hurtful, because that person who was helping before might be less willing to help another person. In the process of you trying to validate how much you love this person, because now you see they've gotten help, it won't require anything from you. That's why I'm talking about this video. I've seen that too often, where a person asks help, the first people to help them, they are discredited because of the people that then get involved later on. And in church is very much often. You know, in church is very much often. As a matter of fact, I've seen churches lose the credit for the people they were trying to help because that person later on got help somewhere else. Be careful of treading on people's toes. You ruin relationships because you want to take the credit. You want to take the credit. You want to wear the credit. When I was hearing this story, I was not sure. Of course, you know, he's a pastor, so he's speaking in wisdom. So if there is such a thing where they might be maybe accusing that maybe the pastor might cheat the lady of the money and whatnot, you know, that kind of, if that's the situation, I don't know. You can highlight, because I heard him talking about, no, they might release a second statement. So when you've watched it, you can, because he's speaking in deep course, and then I don't fully understand course and stuff like that. But when he was narrating, I could kind of hear the direction of where that was going. And I thought this was an important message to come and bring out. A lot of time, a person that mostly comes in to help, the first one, the first person who even if their help was not worth much. I'll give you an example, another example. Another person that I was trying to help in something. Later on, someone then came in who could legit do something about what help they needed. And then I just kind of passed it off. And that person started trying to discredit the help that I was trying to offer that person. And that the person that I was helping was very clear. The help that you are giving me, it started from that guy. Until date, I'm still friends with that person. But the other one, I wouldn't trust. You know? And so this story, it hits home. It hits home because I've seen this situation where people get involved later. And when they get involved later, they try to discredit and step on people who had started doing the helping. Why? Because they want to take the credit. Calm down before you ruin relationships that just say, maybe I must heal. I'm just kidding out, guys. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but it's very likely. I've seen that a lot. And that's why I'm making this video. It's even coming out late. Because when I saw this video, that's kind of the vibes that I was... Because he had that tone. Almost as feeling as if I'm trying to help here. And then I might be looked at otherwise. If that's not the case, you can tell me. Please do go check the video out. And I do hope that she does get the help. But hey, this tells you why Christians should establish their own things. Okay? Have studios and whatnot and all these things. That's why you see musicians, especially these American ones, once they start making it in the industry, the first thing they do is to get a recording studio. They fix a recording studio. Because that way, it helps them not to have to pay all these fees. Yes, you might have to pay an engineer, but you don't have to pay for renting the studio as well. You know, it's a reality show. We do daily Christian commentary videos. I hope this video finds you well. And be careful of stepping on people's toes, trying to take credit. Calm down. You'll ruin relationships.